We're going.
It's starting?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to leave then. I'll count this as a win because I had 31 points.
You didn't get any more points since I left?
Game 1.
I lost all of them.
Wow.
The only reason I want to compete is to beat you.
Yeah, I can tell.
That's my main motivation. Alright, right here. Alright, Wardy. What time are you?
10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Perfect. We're together. We're together.
Honestly, it's just this PC is just slower for some reason. Like my other PC has actually got faster game time as well. So.
Nice. Thanks, Amber Drake, by the way, for the sub. I see you.
Good job, Amber
All right.
Drake.
Yeah. This is gonna be it. Creator versus GuMiho on Stargazers. Technically a good map for Protoss in this matchup, but what am I gonna say here, Wardy?
But there's definitely a lot of drop potential.
Yeah, and also GuMiho, is that why it's called Stargazer? Because of the star in the middle?
Yes.
Oh my god, I've never seen that before.
That's why they showed you.
GuMiho is a tricky one. So this type of map, there's some potential for tricks. It's possible he opens up with a full wall, you know, second depot.
Yep.
Tries to hide what's going on, his true intentions. It's also completely possible that he doesn't do that, and he just plays a semi-standard opener. I wouldn't have minded something tricky though, something cheeky.
Yeah, I feel that's GuMiho's biggest strength, especially on this kind of map, right? It's just, like you say, there's so much potential to do weird things, to get Creator kind of feeling uncomfortable as well. I feel like Creator is someone who doesn't always respond well to the weird stuff as well, you know? Like, he likes to play his game, he likes to play kind of normal a lot of the time. So if you throw kind of a curveball in, sometimes it shakes him a little bit, and I think that can be kind of cool against him, so... Yeah, well, sad not to see something super weird, but we'll just see what GuMiho cracks out after the expansion.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious what we're going to be seeing here, Wardy, that's for sure. I'm kind of curious. It wouldn't completely surprise me if GuMiho shows something very standard, though. He's also been quite good at at just playing general stuff, like any type of like drop-based style with fast second eBay. He's quite good at that. And Stargazer is also a nice map for it, because you have these, like, where the Reaper is right now, that area is great to have your army as a Terran, because you're threatening the backdoor base and thus immediately the main, but you're also threatening the front. It depends a little bit on the expansion pattern of the Protoss player. Can take the back base, can also just take a line base, or take the forward base. So there's really 3 options here for a third base for Protoss that are all somewhat equally viable.
Yeah, no, it's really... It is scary for the Terran. Once the Terran gets in that mid-game and it feels like they can kind of be anywhere they want to be, they have so many options. You can be just like threatening at the front, but you're really just like a quick drop away from the main. In that regard, I feel like this map is quite tough for the Protoss player, but if you're comfortable in that sort of stage, then the longer it goes, generally the less opportunities the Terran's going to have to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's caught by the Adept.
That's not good.
That's not good, no.
It's actually quite bad. One of the main reasons for it being quite bad is that the defense against an Adept or double Adept is annoying, and it allows the Protoss to take a lot of map control, maybe even hit the Hellion a couple of times if you're sending that around the map, because there's just way less threat, right? The only threatening unit that can move quickly on the map then is the Hellion. It's going to be a tech lab on the factory as a follow-up, so... Ooh, it's a...
Wow.
Is that Banshee?
It could be a Raven still, right? But I think Banshee makes the most sense right now. Yeah.
No factory unit into a swap. Like Raven, like what are you going to do with a Raven this fast? I guess you have a lot of energy, but yeah, wow. This is super GuMiho-esque, by the way. Like this is kind of GuMiho before he came back, I want to say, like pre-military GuMiho type of strategies. Nowadays he plays a lot of standard things, yes, with double gas openers, yes, usually with a trick in the early game, but more standard compositions. Going for Banshee in the early game is kind of unheard of. This could go into some type of 1-1-1 push triple CC. Ooh, a third gas as well. No way.
Back?
With Banshee, sometimes they just like taking a fast third gas if they want to get a second tank as well. So it is not 100% mech, but it is a possibility with GuMiho, and it is Stargazers, which is kind of an oddball map, right? So yeah, I can see it happen, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely an intriguing potential as we see the third CC go down in a Templar Archives inside a Creator already.
Holy crap. That's 2-base Storm.
Okay.
We're seeing some build orders here already.
This is definitely not quite your kind of normal everyday opening of TvP, so something pretty unique so far, and we'll see how they deal with it, as we do see extra barracks, so it's not going to be mech. I was going to say, GuMiho, while we know him for playing mech a lot, has not been super keen on mech lately, honestly, so would have still been a little bit surprised. I think you were right, just it takes a lot of gas to build Banshees and also tanks, as Hellion gets a single probe, which is nice, and it's going to lead to the Banshee going up into the natural as well. And a couple of these damage probes now could be easy pickings for the Banshee. They regen too many shields as we start some damage, but the Observer not nearby. And did he even build an Observer? Did he go Prism first?
No, I built an Observer. I think he sent it across the map. One of the Observers, at least. But yeah. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, Wardy.
Moment of lag.
Uh-oh.
Oh, this is real lag.
This is some big lag. Oh, no. This is serious bad stuff.
It's okay.
What's also seriously bad stuff is the build order that Creator picked against what GuMiho is doing.
Yeah?
Yeah. No, that's seriously bad stuff. Because you're already playing super low eco yourself, right? Because you're... What? Oh my god, are you joking? Stargate?
Does he think it's mech on like Banshee mech? So he's like going to build the Stargate for Phoenix and he can deal with it, and then that's obviously horrible against an actual bio push. Oh, Creator.
Oh. Lag in the game, lag in the brain. This is not good. This is awful, Wardy.
Oh yeah.
Worker count is going to be nice for GuMiho. Like, this is a good worker count as a Terran. Even if you were on 2cc at this point, this would be fine. But he's on 3cc. He is more than fine. He's in a great spot right now. Storm still is going to get researched, but there's a Stargate on the way. And you know what's even worse is that he's probably also going to build a Stargate unit. Yeah. This is really bad. Had GuMiho not been floating 600 minerals or 700 minerals for the past minute, this would be insanely good for GuMiho. Now it's a little less good, but it's still going to be just fine. Like, this is one of the things, by the way, when you watch GuMiho games, is you can't focus too much on the money because it's just going to rise. His mechanics are not as clean as other players. They really aren't. Very, very, very often, he'll get supply blocked early on in the game. He'll have insane amounts of minerals in the bank in really just the first 4 or 5 minutes already. He'll be floating 500-600. And like I said, for now he's been floating close to 500-600 minerals. Well, for basically as long as I've been talking about it. Now he's going to go below it. It's just kind of painful. It really cuts in your supply count. It cuts in your worker count a little bit as well. So you need to be super careful there. Despite all of that, though, I still really like his position just because we're seeing Phoenixes being constructed. The infrastructure for Creator is hot garbage. Creator is getting a fort base. And because GuMiho is a massive fan of getting Armory as well as second eBay before the Ghost Academy, Creator probably is actually going to live. Had GuMiho played the style that most Terrans were playing like a month and a half ago, we actually probably would have seen a 1-1 Ghost push here with a couple of tanks, and GuMiho would have walked over Creator right now, because there's a lot of expensive specialist units that don't deal very well with Ghost, like the Immortal, and there's a bunch of Stalkers, and then there's going to be a couple of Prisms as the main backbone when it comes to damage in this army.
Here comes GuMiho on a push through the center off to that right side. Looking to try and catch us here. Gets the tank sieged up. Obviously, Storm's looking to drop. This one is not really brilliant, and GuMiho dodges away from it, so just gets some free shots off for the moment. As our Bioforce continues forward, a couple of tanks are going to continue to siege. We lose one, though. We're going to lose two. I mean, wow. That's GuMiho just not being far enough forward with the Bio. Maybe scared of the Storm, sure, but yeah, losing 2 tanks suddenly really depowers this attack.
Ooh, taking out the battery really depowers that defense, though. There's still a lot of bio here. Marines need to pre-split a little bit. GuMiho does a good job dodging that first storm reactively. His control in these fights is actually extremely good often. It's one of the underrated things of GuMiho, that he's very, very solid control. He's just good pre-splits, good splits here in the moment as well. It feels like Creator just doesn't have enough to really burst this army, despite taking down 2 tanks for free. Now, of course, losing that battery is a problem, but there's just no defensive help here whatsoever for Creator, who, by the way, is also supply blocked right now, so he can't even produce any more Zealots.
Yeah, that Nexus going down is getting pretty painful as we dart on forward. We get an Immortal. A couple of Stalkers going to keep on going down as well. Pylon is going to die, and that's going to depower the gates at the front and a Robo facility. And this is rough, because now Zealots are stuck behind gateways. They can't really get out easily, and this is Creator going to make a play for it. Lifts up the tanks in the back with the Phoenix, but I mean, that should be targetable by a few of these Marines. Get rid of those Phoenix, get those tanks back in play. Then the Phoenix all dead, so that was not a great investment. Stalkers blink forward. I mean, I know you want to get rid of the tanks, but that's obviously very expensive too, as we are microing with what we can out of the Prism. Next to Stalker's warp in, but GuMiho is just not stopping at all. Creator, super battery up is probably going to hold, but yeah, it's been a lot of units going down.
Yeah, but a better hold than I thought he would, honestly. I mean, there's 3 barracks on the way behind this for GuMiho. GuMiho, I think, forgot to start his +2 attack. Yeah. This is kind of weird. If GuMiho would have continued upgrading behind this, he would be in a really good spot. He probably would have +2 halfway, or maybe 70% done. +1 armor would be done right now. You get your fort base flying over, you get 8 barracks. But now, what really is the tangible advantage that GuMiho got from that push? The fort base got rebuilt, he didn't kill a lot of the workers, and the army comp for Creator actually looks somewhat healthy as well.
Yep. As Creator does come forward though, and that might be a little bit too far. He didn't save that Archon either. He does kill 8 SCVs, and does bring GuMiho's economy down a little bit. GuMiho just can try and stay stable on this tank. He gets his 4th base up on the left behind this as well. Creator obviously had to reset down to that bottom right side. I feel like that bottom right base could become a problem for Creator later, right? Like, it's so far out. Defending your main from drops at the same time, it's definitely going to spread him way more than his original base layout was going to.
Yeah, I agree that that bottom base is a tricky one to defend, but at the same time, we're looking at a situation here where the Protoss is going to have ultimate map control, at least in my mind, right? You're up, what, 20 supply, you're pumping out Colossi 2 at the time against a pure bio army, no Viking. If you get some vision, technically you're king of the map. I don't really see any way for GuMiho to truly contest it at this point. Triple Ghosts are on the way already here, which will weaken gateway units, and of course especially Zealots and Archons will be a lot weaker in defensive positions, but also of course in aggressive positions. I wouldn't completely mind here, Wardy, to see a prism being constructed right now for Creator. Just a cheeky prism, either for harassment or just for the potential to pull the trigger if you push all of the drops back.
Yeah, just something, right? I mean, it's definitely not a bad idea to have one added on in there. As you have GuMiho's Ghost upgrade coming through, his army definitely getting stronger. And at this point, feels like we might not have too many fights before they both get maxed out. I mean, GuMiho might look to pressure forward, but unless it's a drop somewhere, these 4 Colossi are completely unengageable until he gets extra stuff up to deal with it, basically. And that's going to give Creator a lot of time. Gets his Dark Shrine online and so on. Gives him time to get set up into a lot of that harassment too. Definitely has a chance to make life a lot more difficult for GuMiho in the near future.
Right. Yeah, I'm just thinking, Wardy, what is GuMiho's plan gonna be from here? I mean, he's getting a lot of bases. Split map scenarios are not completely uncommon on Stargazer. But he needs to, I feel like he needs to slow down Creator a little bit. Creator actually has a very strong late game that I'm not quite sure if GuMiho is capable of dealing with that. I actually don't think he's capable of dealing with that. So that's something to definitely keep in mind. I like that GuMiho is splitting his army and kind of abusing the way that this map works. Here comes a big push forward. Ooh, great little EMP there on the Nexus and the battery. I mean, that's not enough to stop this army. I mean, the storms are good. Oh, actually, they're fantastic. Never mind.
The storms just kept coming.
Yeah. Oh, no!
Oh, what? Base gets to live. GuMiho loses a lot of units. He is going to hit the bottom right. That's going to be the recall, as the base was mentioning, is perhaps tough to deal with. So that's a recall to the bottom, and that may leave you weak to the top. This group of units in the main base at least has taken a lot of damage. If this didn't get cleaned up well from Creator, having a recall at the bottom there would have been an issue, because this army reappearing with any more numbers in it would have been real bad.
Yeah. Also, if the EMP would have hit that bottom Nexus, that bottom base would have just straight up died, right? Like, you don't get a recall, it's just completely dead. Yeah.
Surprised. I feel like GuMiho is usually pretty good at hitting those EMPs and stuff, because he plays this style at this stage where he likes to be around the map, so I was surprised not to see an EMP with that army ready to strike.
Oh yeah, he had it with the army as well, he just didn't use it, Bottom base for GuMiho could be in a little bit of trouble here, but we might see a base trade, and not a full-on base trade, but just actually trading one base for another base, basically. This is a sizable army, though, for GuMiho. If there was an EMP here, Creator could be in some big trouble. There's no EMPs here, though, so I don't think Creator actually is in big trouble. I mean, Immortals are good. Archons will help out as well. This is going to be a flank. There is no recall available. Left side army for GuMiho is staying behind a bit too far, perhaps. EMPs are going to hit. Here comes the flank on the left side. Oh, yo, Wardy. Is this good or is this bad for GuMiho?
I like the idea of it. I definitely think it's a good fight on the left, but these DTs are coming in clearing up, and the other reinforcements of Creator are showing up as well. So GuMiho, it looks like it's going to be great, but in the end, he's actually going to lose pretty much everything. Creator just has so much streaming in at the tail end of that. It makes you wonder, like, yeah, that actually really wasn't that good. It looked good, for sure, and I mean, you reset the Colossus down, but it doesn't really matter about Colossi right now because Creator's got enough to maybe just keep pushing on in. There are Liberators on the way from GuMiho that can maybe start to slow Creator down. That is something to be considering.
Yeah, the thing with Liberators, though, is that they don't just slow your opponent down a little bit from pushing into you, but they also slow yourself down a lot, and they completely destroy your own ability to ever get on the map, because there's so much supply and so much firepower stuck in those Liberators that are just not easy to rotate with or to grab any type of map control. This attack could be very good. There's no EMPs available, and thus these Archons are going to absolutely tear a hole in GuMiho's defenses here. Liberators will try to siege up, but I don't quite think it's going to be enough. We see another warping coming in. Ship weapons level 2 will finish up, but Creator wins game number 1.
Yeah, good win for Creator, especially after it was definitely a little bit tricky early, right? I mean, fun builds. We'll see what Creator... I mean, as a Protoss going into Waterfall, what are you kind of thinking? Like, what are you trying to do to maybe not let the Terran just dominate you in that mid-game?
So you could do things like what Hero likes to open, right? You get like a Zealot, a Stargate, and then you're not playing the early game of the map as much as you are just playing the early game of that build order. So you kind of, it's obviously a counterable build order, and Terrans know this as well, what you can do. So we'll see things like 2 gas relatively often on a map like this. Like shorter maps, 2 gas is quite common. You could see like a proxy out of the Terran as well. I don't think we're going to be seeing this. I'd kind of expect something along the lines of the 2 gas personally, but I could be wrong.
Okay, let's see what Creator opts for as we get through the early moments. Creator Spawn's bottom left has that first map already for Team Envy. He is fighting to keep his life alive, so no matter what happens here, Psystorm will lose GuMiho after this map, and they will lose a life. Creator obviously is looking to make it a 2-0, so he doesn't get replaced, and this doesn't drop down to 3 lives each. Would give Envy a proper advantage.
Yeah, okay, so we're going to indeed see a second gas out of the Terran. That's kind of what you expect here. Then from Creator scouting this, I'd say you go into... You can play both, honestly. You can play Nexus Core, you can play Core Nexus. It looks like he's going to play Core Nexus because you just pulled the worker back up. At least that's what it looks like from the minimap vision that I have. Yes, it's going to be Core Nexus here. A little bit of gas mining going on. Second depot, so worker's going to get trapped. This is just a fairly standard opener. You want to keep this worker alive for as long as possible because you want to see how many workers get pulled out of gas here, right? That is somewhat important. You can see, but by how quickly they get pulled out of gas, you can kind of figure out the CC timing and what's going to happen. Most of the time, it's not going to actually be a dedicated one-base play, but sometimes it is a dedicated one-base play, and in that case, you really want to know. So it's just like a safety measure. You just want to check. It's like, hey, what actually is going on over here? Is he continuing to mine gas? It could be like a Tor drop, or a burrowed mine drop into a Tor all-in. This does seem like a more standard opener. Double Reaper, get a Hellion behind this. Ooh. Proxy third pylon.
Yeah.
Feels like a gateway then, no?
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like sometimes Creator and sometimes Protoss in general have been somewhat active with like extra gateways early and trying to push with like a gateway count, and it can see success. I don't know how big of a fan of it, because sometimes I feel like you put that down and more than anything you poke with a few gate units, if it gets held, you're just so techless, right? Like it feels like you've got nothing in terms of tech behind it. So, we'll see.
Yeah. It looks like a minor investment, but it really isn't. It's a major investment that needs to deal a lot of damage. Against double Reaper openers, it can work though, because Marine production is stifled for a long time, right? The reactor gets delayed by another 36 seconds or so. So you just have way less Marines than you usually would have. It's even going to be a third Reaper, which if you defend these Reapers without taking big damage, there's going to be no Marines to defend. There won't be any Marines ready in the bunker, but his first adept is already falling. Hellion will stay alive as well. Would love for that Hellion to just go home right now.
Yeah.
We don't want to lose it. Reaper are going to continue dealing a little bit of damage, take out another worker. Third Reaper comes in. I think this adept is in trouble then, isn't he?
Yes, he is. He's going to try for that one Reaper. There is the other Adept showing up. Now we're going to start losing Reapers. We're going to lose at least 2. This should have been so good for GuMiho, but obviously losing the Reapers takes away any sort of countering potential and so on. And now, Creator much more can focus on, you know, the attack across the map. And we'll see what he can do there. As he is still losing probes, though, this one Adept just has to keep on top of that Reaper. Shut that down.
Yeah, but I do think that GuMiho knows what's kicking off right now. He's going to get a bunker on the high ground. This needs to deal a lot of damage. And when I say a lot of damage, I'm talking 6, 7 workers. And he's not getting 6, 7 workers so far, Wardy.
No, he
really
absolutely
isn't.
not. He is absolutely
got 2.
not. Yep. It's not good. Now the Twilight's coming online, so we're talking about what, like, by the time a Twilight upgrade finishes, 6 minutes at least. You know, it's really late. And by then, I mean, GuMiho could be pushing as well. There's short map, units coming out that are good for pushing as well. There's a time where GuMiho can get across the map and be quite scary himself.
Yeah, I'd actually much prefer him just kind of taking it slow from here. Just holding a defensive position for a little bit. Taking a third base after the initial eco damage that GuMiho dealt is going to be difficult for Creator. So just get a Raven. For all I care, send like the Viking or the Raven across the map, but no dedicated push until you get your stim, until you get your combat, and you have your first 2 medevacs out. Because frankly, your economic position here is fantastic. We see Creator opening up, following this up with a robotics facility and 4 gas, indicating that he wants to get a quick robotics bay. But quick robotics bay plus blink is kind of a combination that really sucks against quick Raven play. If the quick Raven player realizes what's going on and kind of keeps the energy on the Raven alive, you have a really powerful push where what is this? Templar Arcus. Once again, 2-base Storm. Okay, I like this more for Creator, but it is a very uncommon build order that we almost never see.
Yeah, he just keeps on cranking it out, man. He's clearly feeling it a little bit, and yeah, it's interesting as well. I feel like GuMiho dealt with the Storms pretty well last game too, so I wouldn't say it was like GuMiho just kept walking into them. It's like, wow, it just worked so well. So, yeah, interesting to see it the second time in a row for sure.
Yeah, it is interesting. I kind of do like it more than a Robo Bay here, honestly. I really do. It does need to start Storm at some point in the near future. It of course allows some potential for Storm drops as well. Let's not forget about that. Marine's gonna get taken out. Yep. Raven can still play a role as well, though, by the way. Don't forget, like, prismatic alignment also works. Yeah. I said prismatic alignment.
Yeah, you said prismatic alignment. That's definitely not a Voider in the game, but...
Yeah. Interference matrix is the word that the spell I was looking for.
Matrix and Prism and get the Templar stuck for a few seconds can actually be game changing. We see that a lot, right? You hit like that one Matrix, like one storms out, but the other 2 are stuck. Makes a massive difference sometimes.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah, it's going to be a really nice supply here for GuMiho. Like, really, really solid supply. Worker count for Creator is growing as well, but it's not even so much that your supply and worker count is low if you open like this, but the problem is that your infrastructure is added on so late. So you're really relying on these storms to hit. Honestly, Storm isn't even done yet. Is he just going to die? This is going to be silly, isn't it, Wardy?
I think he's dead. Like, I just... If he can't buy time for Storm, and what does he do to buy that much time for Storm?
Doesn't he have charge either? Oh yeah, you're just dead. Yeah. Oh, he's just dead.
I mean, he's looking for feedback on the Raven. It's like, great. Like, he doesn't need the Raven to kill you right now, you know? Battery's not here. Robo's going to be in trouble. The Stalkers do the right thing. Intercept and reinforcements even. That isn't going too well. Oh my goodness. The Stalkers are losing. Oh, okay, well. Yeah. Even worse than we thought.
Yeah, even worse than we already thought it was terrible. Yeah, I mean, Natural and Third are being killed at the same time, basically. This is something you don't really see that often. 7 works have gone down on the side of Creator, and Creator will be forced to tap out momentarily. I can't imagine him coming back into this, right? Like, he made a good hold last game, but that was a different type of game. Right now he's down 40 supply, he's down in upgrades, he's down in workers, or at least even. And I don't really see a path forward here for him.
Nope, I would absolutely agree that Creator is looking to be pretty dead here in game number 2. And that does mean that both players, or both teams, lose a life. So that 4 lives drop to 3, and both teams will have to send out a new player for map number, the second series of this overall best of 7 or 4 life thing that we got going on. So yeah, it's that'll be interesting to talk about, discuss what we think we're gonna see. For now, we watch Creator pull probes and try to somehow survive on this base. Widow Mine's gonna go off as the Stalkers blink forward. There's just so many Marauders, it's not gonna happen, and GuMiho gets it done on Waterfall, and is gonna have a strong start here for Storm at least. I think 1-1 is really not bad.